Today it is about us pausing not only to say this, soldiers, thank you for your service, but to really spend the time to show how much your contributions and sacrifices have meant to your peers, your subordinates, your leaders, and your Army. Our first retiree today is Colonel Vince Barnhart. In his 26-year career, Colonel Barnhart has tirelessly served the medical needs of our soldiers. Everyone who has worked with Colonel Barnhart says he is an incredibly talented and compassionate doctor, well loved by his patients, but they also say another thing that's important as we talk about him here today. He is an equally great soldier. A singing, fly-fishing, marksman, surgeon. The Army certainly got their money's worth out of this officer for all these years.
I think my greatest blessing of all has been, if you could let me count my undergrad, 30 years of associating with the finest people in the country, in the world perhaps. I'm just, the people that you get to work with are just absolutely phenomenal.
Major Preston Blair is one of those officers who can say the Army sent him to the best of places and the worst. Major Blair enlisted in the Army in 1997, but was quickly tapped for Officer Candidate School. He graduated from OCS in 2000, was commissioned as a chemical officer, and promptly sent to the Army's storied 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii for the next 4 years, which is an incredibly rough first-time assignment for a single second lieutenant.
To my wife, it's been my rock and support. I don't think I could have did it without her the last 10 years. To the leaders, my mentors, co-workers, battle buddies, thank you for your guidance, your mentorship, pushing me to my limit and beyond, and for your support most of all.
Major Brent Tawney has not served here at Rock Island Arsenal, but his ties to our community are great. A native of Davenport, Major Tawney just completed his final Army assignment as Deputy Inspector General with the 10th Mountain Division at Fort Drum, New York. We have just a little bit of friendly rivalry between our branches of service, so you'll understand what I mean when I say that we won't hold it against Major Tawney that he was a little confused at the start of his career when he originally chose the Navy. In 1993, Major Tawney entered the United States Naval Academy. He graduated in 1997 and was commissioned as an ensign in the Navy as a surface warfare officer. In September of 2004, he accepted a commission in the United States Army as a captain in the Adjutant General Corps.
I would also like to extend my personal thanks to my family, my wife, son Brennan, my mother, my father, who unfortunately passed a few years ago, and also now my extended family. If I haven't thanked you yet, through the deployments, late nights, weekends, you were always there when I came back, so thank you.
Our next retiree has spent just a few days shy of 32 years in uniform. Chief Warrant Officer 5 William Smith certainly exemplifies the spirit of service about which General Bradley spoke. Chief Smith is the epitome of the kind of soldier from whom we as an Army have asked and asked. Again and again, he has answered our call. A native of Phoenix, Arizona, Chief Smith followed in his family's example, enlisting in 1985. Because he thought no job could be more honorable, and because the Army had the side benefit of fulfilling his hope to travel around the world.
First, I have to thank God who gave me all these great blessings, and my great family who's followed me all over the world. Poor Myungie married me 27 years ago, and so I've been dragging her all over the world ever since. So. And then next, I'd like to thank the NCO Corps, because it was the NCO that said, hey, Private Smith, what are you doing for lunch? Took me to the Education Center, and I said, what are you doing, Sergeant? He said, I'm signing up for classes. What are you doing? I said, I don't know. He said, I was following you. He said, well, you're in Korea. Why don't you take Korean? And it all went downhill from there.
Sergeant First Class Jim Alcorn is one of our critical NCO logisticians here at 1st Army. He essentially keeps that 136-year-old behemoth down the road here that is our headquarters up and running. But I learned something pretty important about Sergeant Alcorn in recent weeks. He's a karate machine. A native of Martinsville, Ohio, Sergeant Alcorn enlisted in the Army in 1990 and was originally a combat engineer. He joined the Army Reserves in 1995 and re-entered active duty in 2001 as a supply specialist.
First of all, I'd like to thank God, because through Him all things are possible. Second, my family, because I could not have done this without them. In the Army's been a good life. It has not been an easy one, but it has been a good one. And last but not least, our mentors like Chief DeMar. I would not be standing here today if it wasn't for that man right there. So if you're a mentor in someone's life, it makes a difference.
Our next retiree is Sergeant First Class Harold Robinson, a native of Georgetown, Guyana. Sergeant Robinson enlisted in the Army in November of 1994 and was awarded the MOS of Automated Logistics Specialist. Over the past 22 years, he's shuffled between Fort Lee and Fort Bragg, Korea, and back to Bragg again. And he's done 3 tours in Iraq in supporting Operation Iraqi Freedom, and 1 to the United Arab Emirates in support of Operation Enduring Freedom.
I want to thank God for the opportunity to be here today. Public speaking was never one of my strong points, but my professor said, never apologize for my accent, so I'm not going to do it. The Army has given me a great opportunity to do that. Haven't got that far yet. Still in America, but I'm trying to continue my service here. And thanks very much, Chief, for everything that you did for me.
20 years ago, a young Jacqueline Watkins, a native of Guyana, South America, accompanied a friend who was headed to enlist in the Army. It turned out her friend didn't meet the requirements, but the Army recruiter did us all a favor. He convinced Jacqueline. So in August of 1997, Sergeant Watkins enlisted in the Army, serving about the first half of her career as a human resources specialist. She became a logistics supply specialist after AIT in 2006. She has held numerous leadership and staff positions during her time in uniform, but since 2008, she has answered the Army's call for a tough, sensitive, and critical assignment. That of being a sexual harassment assault response prevention program manager and a sexual assault response coordinator.
God is awesome. He is so awesome. Because there are many times I never thought I would make it. But I always say, He never brought me this far to leave me. So I'm here today. I've made it.
On behalf of a grateful nation and the United States Army, we now bid a respectful farewell to these faithful and honorable retirees.